What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Revenant Fitness channel. Today we're going to be going over Warrior Physique Workout 3, which is a leg-specific workout, beginning with the barbell back squat. We're going to do the traditional warm-up set, get the muscles nice and fired up to all that weight you're going to be adding. And on this first set, really focus on having proper technique. And as mentioned here, do not be that guy who's wearing his belt on leg day. The only time you should be wearing that belt is when you're doing weighted dips and pull-ups, because wearing that belt is gonna give you a false sense of strength, and it's gonna keep you from actually properly strengthening those stabilizer muscles within your core and your back, which will also make you a lot more injury prone if you ever try not using a belt. And you're just going to be a lot more powerful and athletic. And even if it's less weight that you're putting up, it's worth it. You got to start down from the bottom without that belt. It'll be worth it in the end. All right, on to the next set. And I usually add, throw the next 45 on. And you just want to go for 6 repetitions. You don't want to overdo it. And on this one, I left the audio on so that you guys can hear the breathing pattern, because especially for heavy squats, your breathing is essential for having proper technique and form. So as you see, I go down as I'm inhaling and exhale on the way up. Down, inhale, exhale, up. Yeah, the breathing is probably, especially for beginner lifters, one of the hardest things to remember, because you're already trying to focus on just keeping that damn weight on top of you, staying alive, and then you got to worry about the breathing. But trust me, it's worth practicing and getting more proficient at. On to the third set here. We've got 85 to 90% of your 1 rep max, which should get you about 2 or 4 reps. And if you can only do 1, that's fine too, because we're not going for a 1 rep max today. You'll see why for the 4th set. And make sure to have yourself in a safe position when you're squatting. Worst case scenario, you're by yourself. Just have enough space and distance to where you can just drop that weight off your back if need be. Don't let it crush you if you can't get back up. And for here, I ended up just doing 2 because I was already a little shot from doing the sprint workouts the day prior. I could hear my knees snapping and cracking on each freaking squat once the weight got up there. So now is when you really want to start putting the tempo up. So you're going to drop back down to that second set weight. So for me, it was 225. And now it should feel a little bit lighter due to the fact you just had close to 85, 90% of your 1 rep max. So from here, we're going to go for 10 to 12 reps. And I would say at least try to get 8. But this is going to give you that nice burnout and give you the power versus just that straight strength for the 1 rep max, which is good too, but this is more of a power specific workout. And notice the form from the side as well. And there's a lot of controversy between just going parallel with the legs, but on top of not using the belt, I think that you can go all the way down, ATG, ass to grass, whatever they call it. It's going to just give you an overall much more powerful physique in the end, because you're contracting and working a lot more of those deep muscles within your lower pelvic half. So make sure, even if you got to reduce your weight, I think in the end it's going to be worth going down with lower weight and working your weight back up. I remember when I had to do that. All right, so that's it for the squats there. And we're going to move on to the next which is the squat jumps. And this is also adding onto the superset for more power explosiveness. And for beginners with this exercise, I'd recommend either just using your body weight or the bar itself, which should be manageable. And you want to be very careful though with the motions that you're landing here, especially when you do add more weight like I have. And you don't need to be jumping a whole 3 feet up in the air, like just that small. I'm probably jumping about 5 to 8 inches right there. And it's really just getting off the ground and working that explosiveness. And then now we're going to get in some stability drills, which is going to help your overall athleticism and performance when doing any lower body exercise as well. And also note that your core stabilizers are going to get extremely strengthened when you're doing a lot of these leg workouts as well. You know, everybody just assumes that core is when you're doing those specific, crunches, sit-ups. But actually doing these type of workouts, especially these stabilizer ones, you're going to want to be tightening and stabilizing your core the entire time. And here you can see my left leg. I've had an injury, tore my hamstring a few years ago. So my left leg is usually a lot harder to balance on, but that's fine if you got a weaker leg as well. Most people do. Just take your time, and if you fall down, just keep getting that 30 seconds up in your head and starting from where you left off. So just make sure 30 seconds each leg, equally balanced, the best you can. All right, now we're going to be moving on to the lunges, which is another great workout here. And with this one, it's kind of the medium amount of repetitions. You're not going for 1 rep max for these. And as noted here, you don't have to use the barbell. I just prefer it. I like having the weight usually on the top of me so I can focus more on stabilizing that core with the weight on top of my shoulders. But notice that I'm doing a nice slow controlled motion with the heel going forward, planting onto the ground. And notice that the opposite side, so right here, my right knee does not touch the ground. You want to stay up and stabilized the entire time, because that's what's going to really give you that stabilization with the core and strengthen those leg muscles, because it keeps them focused and driving the entire time. If you touch the ground, it's like you're giving yourself a break. So you want to keep it going and working those muscles the entire time. All right, so there's the first set, and then the next one did an angle switch up here, so you can kind of see another another way that the technique is performed. And here I dropped down 10 pounds. I still stick with the 10 to 12 reps. Your legs should be pretty fatigued at this point anyway. So we're mostly just making sure to keep good technique, stabilization going here. Yep, down, keep that knee off the ground. And another helpful thing is if you're more new to lunges and stuff like that, you can just use your body weight to practice the proper technique, and then eventually start adding in that weight once you feel like you're ready to move on to it. And now we're going to move on to the weighted body calf raises. And I just grabbed the 45s that I was squatting with here, but you can use kettlebells, other weights as well. So this would be 2 sets. Enhance the speed because it's 30 repetitions. And yeah, you're going to be feeling this the next day, especially if you're new to doing this workout. So you do 30 with the weight, drop those weights instantly, straight to body weight, 30 repetitions. And notice the beginning one I have here for this first set is my toes together, and then once you move on to the second one, grab those weights again, and then you have them about shoulder width stance. And I go down to 20 reps at this time. And you'll really be feeling this burn because there's minimal rest in between. And onto the body weight here. And then for those of you who are really trying to improve their calf strength and size, you can go ahead and add a third set with 10 repetitions for those. Now we're going to be on to the box jumps, which is a straightforward box jump. You can slowly get down like that if you like, if you're new to it. But if you really want a more challenging workout, use that skipping jump roping motion like I'm using right here. That's going to keep those calves activated, working the entire time, especially after you used to that burnout workout. And it's just going to help your overall explosiveness and stay on the balls of those toes. Also, be sure that when you're landing, you're maintaining a constant slight bend in the knees. You don't want to be doing any straight-legged landing, whether that's on the top of the box or when you land down on the ground. And now we're going to be doing some lateral box jumps. And the reason you want to switch up the directions instead of always just going forward or back, because the multiplanar motions are going to really strengthen your overall neuromuscular connectivity, which is going to help, if you're doing sports, combat sports, anything like that. You're going to just be overall more athletic and able to react to anything that comes at you. And with this one, it is a bit more difficult when you're not used to it. So if you got to use a smaller box, then by all means, especially considering you're going to be pretty damn fatigued. Like I starting to have trouble jumping up at that point. All right, and then on to the single box jumps. Just going to do one set, 10 to 20 reps on each leg. And since this will be towards the end of the workout, there's no need to do any more sets than one because you're going to be quite fatigued at this point. And this is going to be extremely good for further strengthening those stabilizers for the single leg workouts. And then as mentioned earlier, if you want to keep that more challenging workout right here, make sure you're doing that jump roping bouncing motion as well. And maintaining your position on the balls of your feet at all times. Moving on, once you're ready for some cardio to be added into your workout routine, after these leg workouts, you can go ahead and do a distance mile. That day I did a 2-mile run. And you can also switch it up and mix in some sprinting. I recommend 10 to 12 100-meter sprints. And that's just going to be more beneficial overall because you're going to be working your anaerobic threshold when you're doing the sprinting, and your aerobic threshold, which is going to improve your blood flow, get that circulation throughout your body, which is going to lead to quicker recovery from your workouts as well. Thanks for watching, guys. That's today's video. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. Leave anything else that you'd want me to post, any recommendations. So go ahead and give us some thought and take it easy.